Welcome to part 6 of the individual oral step-by-step process. This part is about how to organize your individual oral and responding to the subsequent questions. So, how will you use your 10 minutes? You must use all of your 10 minutes. Be prepared and practice with a timer. If you end before the 10 minutes, you stand to lose points. You must use all of them. Have a clear, intelligent introduction that mentions your global issue and your texts. You must be balanced in your approach. Spend equal time on each text. So consider, how long will your introduction take? How long do you need for a conclusion? Whatever time is left, that is where you need to be balanced in your approach to talking about each of the texts and the extracts you've chosen. You must stay focused on your global issue throughout. Use literary conventions to explain the authorial choices. And please have a clear, intelligent, intentional conclusion. Absolutely do not end with, "So yeah, that's it." Never end with that. Practice and have a clear, intelligent, intentional conclusion. Here's some possible individual oral organizational models. This model has you spending a minute on the intro, 2 minutes on the text, 2 minutes on global issue, 2 minutes on your first text, and then 2 minutes on the global issue connection in that text. Then it switches to the second text, 2 minutes about it, 2 minutes on the connection, and 1 minute of conclusion. This model has you introducing the global issue and the introduction to the text for a minute, and then 2 to 3 minutes on an idea, this first idea, and then considering text 1, then text 2 in relation to that idea. Then it jumps to the next big idea, text 1, text 2. Then it goes to a third idea, text 1, text 2, and then it leaves with a big 1 minute for a big conceptual idea that's global and literary. Throughout, this individual oral would need to be focused on the global issue. So whatever those ideas are, 1, 2, 3, they would have a global issue connection. This approach has an introduction, and then extract 1, it starts with focusing on a textual element, the effect and meaning in relation to the global issue. So this one is driven by literary conventions and authorial choices, and then thinks about how does it connect to the global issue. Goes to the second extract, repeats the process, then has a conclusion. This is a flowchart that I put together that might help you. This is one of many ways to approach it, and I will include this as a PDF in this folder. But this shows you that if you start with the introduction, these are the things you should talk about. When you get to your first text, certainly talk about everything there. The second text and extract, talk about those things, and some ideas about how you do your conclusion. I have the boring conclusion as well as the interesting one. I encourage you to consider practicing with this and then moving beyond it if you don't need it. There are many ways to organize your individual oral well. You may use any of the methods on the previous slides, or invent your own method, or create a hybrid. Remember that this is not a compare and contrast activity. It's not your job to compare one extract or one text to the other text. You are talking about authorial choices in 2 texts in relation to a global issue. So state the issue you want to talk about, introduce the text, talk about one text, then talk about the other text. Wrap it up. It's not your job to compare and contrast them. Be intentional, be organized, use all of the 10 minutes. You need to practice with a timer. You should practice with the recording device. You should practice with a friend. You should practice pronunciation. Make sure you know how to say all the authors' names correctly. Just practice. Remember, this presentation is not about eye contact or theatrical or voice effects. It's not a dramatic presentation. In fact, During the individual oral, you do not have to look at your teacher at all if you don't want to. It is about clear, organized verbal communication. It's going to be audio recorded, not video recorded. The next part will be about the subsequent discussion, and this happens after the 10 minutes end. And this is 5 minutes of teacher-led question and answer. So you must finish at 10 minutes, and when you finish at 10 minutes, your teacher will politely cut you off if you go beyond that. So do your best in your practicing to be reaching your conclusion by 9 minutes, have your conclusion last about a minute, and then you're done. Your teacher will begin asking you questions. Remember that your teacher is on your side during this and wants to help you be brilliant. This is not a gotcha situation. Your teacher is not out to trick you in any way. They've been listening very closely to everything you've had to say, and they're going to be asking you further questions about your extracts or about your global issue, authorial choices that you spoke about, or your teacher may notice some things to point out to you that you should probably talk about, and any remaining ideas of your presentation that might need further development. This question and answer session lasts 5 minutes. You need to remember to answer the questions in formal language and be precise. Be thoughtful in your answers. If you need a moment to gather your thoughts before you begin speaking, you can do that. Just simply wait and then begin speaking. That's okay. I encourage you to consider practicing question and answer sessions with a friend. You can do it over the phone. You could do it through any kind of online app or in person if you're able to meet together. Practice it. The last part will be focusing on the assessment criteria and academic honesty.